Oh hi, in this short video I want to look at how it is that we export maps from the Eaglet Eye software which I've got here to the Scleralink software which I've got running over there. So going back to the Eaglet Eye, here is a map, an example, and this one is called Ortho-K, and it has some additional information which may well be the prescription that we are looking at there. And we have this twiddler, and this twiddler, when we rotate it, draws what I understand to be a profile of the sagittal height along the selected meridian there like that. And also I note over here that we have the SIM-K values, the simulated keratometry, which in this case is 8.15 by 7.76. And I'm going to deliberately rotate this twiddler to a point somewhere around there because I note in passing that when I have an area in the twiddler which is outside of the map raw data, then I think I do not show anything. So that's important to note and remember that. And I also note in passing that this twiddler, I cannot tell the difference between the ends, because this end of the twiddler is this cross arrangement, and this end of the twiddler is a very identical, to me at least, cross arrangement like that. So there we are, and I'm looking of course at the height map here, which has got this this sort of a continuous type scale there, I will call it. So anyway, there we go. Right, now to export you need to use the XML format, and that's a very easy thing to do. You simply go to Export As and you select XML, and I have set up a folder called Eaglet Export, lacking in imagination there, but anyway, there it is, and I simply do that and export the map, and there it is, done and gone. I could, if I wish, check that it was correctly exported by looking at it there. So now that's it. I've exported the map. There we are, and I go over here to the Scleralink software. Now the Scleralink software has this interface where you can have as many of these folders as you wish. Sometimes some people might wish them to be opticians, some people might wish them to be just different types of maps and the likes of that. And then you can call them anything you like, and I've got one here called My Examples. I'm going to click on that. That is the folder to which I will import the map in a moment, and then I simply open the Eaglet Eye file by clicking on that button there, and it will go to the folder from which I last imported a map, and that's this one here, the Eaglet Export folder, which I've just done. That is the correct time. There it is, and I simply click on that and say open, and it is imported to Scleralink, and the map, we only look at the height maps in Scleralink. We don't care about the other maps. We only look at height, because that's what we're interested in for fitting scleral contact lenses. So here we are, it's a left eye, there it is, and you can see, just quickly in outline, without necessarily focusing on the colour, you can see that the shape of the available raw data in the Eaglet Eye is identical to the shape in Scleralink there, like that, and we've got this scale here, like that, which we have these steps, these 17 steps in, because that's what we like to do, and they are discrete steps, so we think, that you can get a better picture of what different maps are by having this discrete type of scale. So here we go. We can carry out an analysis, an intense mathematical analysis, and we use that to identify where it is that we think mathematically the sclera begins. So if I click on Analyze Map, it does that. There it is. The original raw data is highlighted in this orange outline here, and the yellow ellipse here. These look circular, but of course they are in fact a bit elliptical. Each one of these elliptical profiles is an area of uniform sagittal height. And this yellow point here is where we believe that mathematically the sclera will begin in the case of this particular map. Our twiddler is designed to be different. It has an X at this end and an O at that end. And on the height, on the profile graph, we have an X at this end and an O at that end. So you can see where you are in relation to the actual twiddler. So you know if it's this end of it or that end of it, which can be important because if, for example, I now rotate this to an area like that, you will note that I am now towards the X end, which is this one here. I am away from the raw data, but I am still showing the profile because the orange section here, the orange part of this little bar here, tells me that I am using extrapolated data. So I have mathematically extrapolated this area here to fill in for my required lens diameters. And similarly, I don't think we quite reach it. No, it doesn't matter over there. So there we are like that. So this is a perfectly nice profile. And also we note that the SIM-Ks, 8.15, 7.76, and it was along 13 and not 180. But anyway, the SIM-Ks are imported. We do not make any attempt to recalculate those. They are in fact as imported from the Eaglet Eye map. There it is like that. And I can go to this folder where I've placed this map, double click on the patient name. This was the left eye, if you remember, and I'm going to guess that this -375, this additional reference here, is the prescription. So I'm going to put -3.75 like that, and the -1.75 like that, and it says 180, so I'm going to leave it at that. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to guess that we're about back vertex distance of 10 millimeters. And if I wish, I can click on this little button here, and that will tell me the ocular prescription for this spectacle prescription and this back vertex distance here, like that. The HVID we do not know. Again, it's one of those things. I'm going to put in 11.8 as a guess. So that's it, and I can make notes should I so wish, and I'm going to just update that. And later on, we will use this screen for exporting the lens manufacturing data and summaries of the lenses that we calculate to fit on this eye. So going back to my map, there it is. And that's pretty much it at this stage. I've identified that our twiddler is different and that we extrapolate the data over here. This is shown in this orange segment telling you extrapolated. And in the yellow section is where, from there to the end there, is where we think mathematically that the sclera will begin. The blue section is the corneal type section, corneal and limbal type section. And if you look at modern research, you will discover that corneal diameters are actually in fact much bigger than we ever thought they were. For example, work by Graham Young recently tells you that you've got about 13 point something is a corneal diameter. So that's all tied in with that, and there is peer review work on mathematical identification of the sclera, which we incorporate as a background to this. So that's it. We're there, we've got a map, and we're ready to fit lenses, which I will do in the next video.